Hi everyone, this is Dr. Mamta Java, your microbiology faculty. I'm starting a new series on the microbiology recall questions asked in the NEET PG exam 2024, whereby in one video or episode, I'm going to discuss one MCQ. Please remember, it's not just important to do the PYQs, it's way more important to do the PYTs. So the idea of doing this series in the form of multiple episodes or videos discussing one MCQ per episode or per video is that we are going to discuss that topic in toto so that if at all any other question is asked from that topic, you are able to solve that. So let's begin. In this very episode, that is the episode 1, the maiden video of this series, the question I've picked up was asked in paper 1 of NEET PG 2024 exam. And the question goes like this. A patient ended up with aplastic crisis following a viral infection. What is the likely virus? Parvovirus B19, CMV, EBV, or yellow fever virus. They have mentioned aplastic crisis. Amongst all these viruses, which virus you think is responsible for aplastic crisis? It is nothing but parvovirus B19, a pretty important virus. So let's learn more about it to learn more MCQs. So this virus, parvovirus B19, remember it is overall the smallest virus. The word parvo itself means what? Small. It is a DNA virus. If you just remember the names of the medically significant DNA viruses, by default, the remaining viruses become RNA viruses. Now, what are these DNA viruses? Remember, they can be remembered by remembering the simple mnemonic HHAPPY, and that makes all of us pretty happy because just by remembering these minimal names, we are going to remember that all of these are DNA viruses. Now, the first H stands for the herpes viruses. Second H stands for hepadinavirus, that is hepatitis causing DNA virus, that is the hepatitis B virus. Rest of the hepatitis viruses are what? RNA viruses. This itself is an MCQ. Then A stands for what? It stands for adenovirus. ठीक है. Now A से adeno है. A does not stand for what? A does not stand for arenavirus. A for adeno. Adeno name itself has got what? DNA. D, N and A. Please remember, guys, as far as arena viruses are concerned, let me write it over here. Arena viruses. The word arena itself has got the three alphabets R, N, and A. So arena viruses are RNA viruses. Okay. Then we are left with the three P's. PPP. Now, these stand for parvovirus, poxvirus, and papovaviruses. So, parvovirus fits into this mnemonic. Please remember these happy viruses. And in case you are struggling to understand what is meant by single-stranded, what is meant by positive and negative sense, RNA virus, and how to remember their names, I had done a video on this very topic a while ago, and the link of that video also I'm going to post in the description of this video. You can have a look. Now, continuing with parvovirus, as I said, it's overall the smallest virus. Its size is just about 22 nanometers. Okay, and God decided that because this is going to be the smallest virus, let me not give it an envelope. So it's a non-enveloped or naked virus. So remember, lack of an envelope is going to contribute to the small size of this virus. Remember it like that. There is only one serotype and the symmetry is icosahedral. As a general rule, guys, please remember all the DNA viruses have got what? Icosahedral symmetry. So this virus, being a DNA virus, has got icosahedral symmetry. Then how it is transmitted? The modes of transmission can be remembered as RTT, that is the respiratory route of transmission. Then the first T stands for transplacental route of transmission, and the second T stands for what? Transfusion of blood. Pretty rare but possible. Now, as far as the natural reservoirs are concerned, we, that is humans, are the natural reservoirs. There is no animal reservoir of this virus. Now, this virus causes infection of what? Remember the two E's as the targets of the parvovirus. The erythroblast, that is the developing RBCs in the bone marrow, which have got the P blood group antigen, which is the receptor used by this virus, and the second E, which is the target of this virus, are the endothelial cells of the blood vessels, and this very fact is responsible for the rash encountered in some of the infections caused by parvovirus. So an important pathogenesis behind the occurrence of rash is the infection of the endothelial cells of the blood vessels by this virus. Now, another important thing to be remembered about this virus is that once infection occurs and antibodies are produced, those antibodies will attach to the viral particles, forming what? Immune complexes. And these immune complexes also lead to rash and arthritis. So as far as pathogenesis of rash is concerned, remember two important reasons. One is the formation of immune complexes, and the other reason is, as I said, infection of the endothelial cells of the blood vessels. Now, please remember, immunity following infection is said to be lifelong. Okay. Now, as far as diseases are concerned, most of the infections are asymptomatic, and in case symptoms occur, it is just going to be characterized by mild febrile illness, and the infections are going to be self-limiting. Now, as far as the diseases by this virus are concerned, please remember, we have got different categories of diseases by this virus. The first one is erythema infectiosum, or fifth disease. Now, erythema infectiosum or fifth disease is encountered in kids, and this is characteristic. This is characteristically, going to have the slapped cheek appearance, as you can see in this picture. Okay. Now, erythema infectiosum or fifth disease, the disease is not going to start right away with the facial rash. 7 to 10 days after the infection, which can be considered as the incubation period, initially there will be a minor viral prodromal illness, which will be characterized by fever, and much later this facial rash will appear. So this itself is an MCQ, ki what comes first, fever or rash? So please remember, fever comes first. And this rash in the kids is characterized, it's more prominent on the cheeks. It is erythematous, and hence the name slap cheek appearance. Okay. Then later on, few days after the appearance of this rash on the face, a less prominent, lacy reticular rash appears on the extremities. This also has to be remembered. Now, this infection is self-limiting, and the cases usually resolve in a week. Then, second disease which can occur as a result of infection by this virus, on which the question was based, is aplastic anemia, which I said is because of the infection of the erythroblast in the bone marrow. But remember, this aplastic anemia is going to occur in whom? It is going to occur in patients who are undergoing some kind of crisis, as far as RBCs are concerned, like for example sickle cell anemia, patients with thalassemias, that is where RBCs are undergoing destruction, then hereditary spherocytosis. Now these people, unfortunately, they go into what is known as aplastic crisis, because already their RBCs are getting damaged because of the underlying disease. And if at all parvovirus B19 infects these people, which is going to target the erythroblast, these patients will go into what? A transient aplastic crisis. Transient aplastic crisis. So aplastic crisis to samajh mein aata hai. Why it is transient? It is transient because, as I said before, the infection by parvovirus is self-limiting. Please remember this. Then fetal infections can also occur. A pregnant lady during if gets infected with this virus, depending on when the infection is occurring, can lead to different outcomes. If at all infection occurs in the first trimester, it leads to, unfortunately, death of the baby. So remember, this virus, unlike rubella virus, is not a cause of congenital malformations, because it directly leads to death of the baby if infection occurs during the first trimester. If infection occurs during the second trimester, it leads to what? It leads to hydrops fetalis. And if infection occurs in third trimester of pregnancy, there is no significant clinical finding. No, it's nothing significant in third trimester. Now, what is hydrops fetalis? Hydrops fetalis refers to massive edema of the fetus, which in turn occurs due to what? Congestive cardiac failure, which in turn occurs due to what? Anemia, which is precipitated because of infection of the erythroblasts by this virus. Then the other infection which this virus can cause is arthritis. Remember, A for arthritis, A for adults. 50% of the adults infected by this virus can develop arthritis, and amongst these adults also, females are more commonly going to manifest arthritis as compared to males. And there is going to be involvement of usually small joints of hands and feet in a bilaterally symmetrical fashion, which in turn is going to resemble what? Rheumatoid arthritis. And occasionally, remember, knees, ankles, and wrists can be involved. So remember KAW, knees, ankles, and wrist joints can also be involved. Then any other viral infections, which can cause immune complex related arthritis? Yes, we have got hepatitis, B virus infection, and rubella. Both of these viral infections can also lead to immune complex related arthritis. Now, chronic parvovirus B19 infection can occur in whom? As I said before, the infection by this virus is generally self-limiting, but obviously that is going to occur if the immunity is good, it is not compromised or jeopardized. But chronic infection can occur in people with compromised immunity, like for example, remember at least three categories: HCT, HIV infected individuals, people who are getting chemotherapeutic agents, and the transplant recipients. Now, all these individuals are unfortunately not going to clear the virus, so they can end up with anemia, not just that, leukopenia, and even thrombocytopenia. Then finally, lab diagnosis. Now, in fifth disease, that is erythema infectiosum and aplastic anemia, diagnosis can be done by detection of the IgM antibodies. Culture of throat swabs can be done, but it is generally, not routinely done. Then PCR makes sense to do in people with immunodeficiencies because they cannot mount a good antibody response. Now, PCR to detect what? To detect the genes of the virus, the DNA of the virus, and PCR of the amniotic fluid can help in making a diagnosis of infection in the fetus. Now, as far as treatment is concerned, there is no antiviral, but remember, pooled immunoglobulins can be of some value in people who are who are suffering from some immunodeficiencies, and there is no vaccine or any prophylactic drug against this viral infection. Okay, so guys, that's about this video module, the episode 1 of the NEET PG Microbiology Recall series. I hope you like this. Please let me know in the comment section how did you like this video. If you have any doubts, please mention in the comment section. I'll post the link of my social media handles also in the description of this video. And a humble request to all of you, please like, share, subscribe if you like this series. Share it with your friends also. Thank you everyone. Study well and God bless.